Hi guys, Sherratt here. In this topic, we're going to explore some ideas surrounding a concept in society called culture. Now you might be wondering what this has to do with anything useful, but trust me on this, because I believe that there's some real value in understanding what culture is and its impact on you in day-to-day life. So let's get started. Culture helps define your sense of identity. The thing is, we're all so different. Well, one aspect of culture relates to excellence in many aspects of human society, the fine arts, music, or food, for instance. Another aspect relates to the ways people pass down ideas through generations. But for the purposes of this topic, we will refer to culture as the shared conditioning that characterizes the communication and behaviors of a group. Remember in topic 5, Mind Matters, I explained how your mind works? That you as an individual have a conscious and a subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the storehouse for that conditioning, how you've learned stuff since birth. These are your attitudes, your beliefs, habits, values and self-images that regulate your decisions, your behavior, and ultimately the way your life goes. It keeps you being you. Well, when we explore the subconscious conditioning of a group, we call it the collective subconscious, we can start to identify what culture is and the impact that it has on you as an individual. The first group of people whose collective conditioning influences you is your family, where you were born. And each family has a set of norms, or unwritten rules, that decide how things are done. It's just the way things are around here. And yet, this family conditioning defines your thoughts, your language, your creative expression, your spirituality, social activities, and interactions with other people. The thing is, you learned these norms without really knowing or intending to learn it. And this is called implicit learning. These norms influence everything in your family and may differ from family to family. For instance, a family living in the country will have different cultural norms to a family living in the city. Being born into a country culture helps you to feel at home in wide open spaces and know that looking after farm animals, collecting eggs and gathering homegrown vegetables are just what you do. Your culture is learned implicitly without you ever really questioning it. Someone born in a city family's culture may have different norms. They may feel at home in more confined spaces, enjoy looking after the house pets and be more road-wise, for instance. This is just the way things are, and that is culture. If you take a country kid to the city, or a city kid to the country, for a while they may feel out of place. This feeling of being out of place is sometimes known as culture shock. It happens because what they are perceiving does not match their idea of what is normal, and it causes them to feel a little uneasy. It might take a while for their mind to adjust to the change, but in time, they are more likely to be at ease with that new environment. The process of learning to live within a new culture is called enculturation. The city kid is being enculturated into a country kid's situation. As you get older, your culture expands as the collective group of the people you interact with gets bigger. You go to high school and become enculturated into the way things are around the school. As your subconscious mind likes to keep you being you, you're likely to form a group of friends who tend to be similar to the cultural norms that you grew up with. They may look similar, have similar interests, similar academic standards, similar ways of communicating with you. And as your peer group behaves according to that collective conditioning, it's easy for other groups within the school culture to label it. You're the sporty group, or the brainy group, or the ones with money. Now this cultural label is called a stereotype, and it brings with it all kinds of preconceived ideas of how you are, some good, some not so good. And this will be discussed more in topic 11, respecting diversity. While your peer group's culture can impact your decisions, your perception, and your behavior, sometimes known as peer pressure, you're also influenced by your overall school culture. See, every school culture is likely to be different depending on the type and the location of the school. For instance, A co-ed Catholic state school in Queensland, Australia is likely to have a different culture from a private Māori girls' school in the North Island of New Zealand. Knowing the importance of culture on a student's performance, many schools work to develop a high-performance culture where the term excellence is promoted. Students are encouraged to challenge themselves, persevere, and give it their best shot. So by using different forms of media, the school is trying to enculturate you into a positive learning mindset. This can be done implicitly, without your conscious awareness, or explicitly through direct speech. You quickly learn that being on time for class means good organisation. Being quiet in a library means respect for others, and a tidy uniform means pride in your school. These behaviours are all defined by the school's cultural norms and reinforced through either implicit or explicit ways. You might get told off if you don't conform to those norms. And this will be discussed further in topic 12, Rules and Reasoning. If we look at a culture in a broader context, from school into your community and society, you'll see that culture plays an active role in your life here too. People from other societies are settled and living in your community, each with a distinctive culture that influences you as an individual. For instance, what was the last takeaway meal you ate? Thai? Indian? Pizza? The foods you enjoy came to your community from a different society around the world. Do you have interests outside of school? Perhaps you're into video games, or high wire climbing, or busking on the street. These ideas came to your community from different societies around the world. So whether you're aware of it or not, every aspect of who you are as an individual, your identity, has been conditioned by the culture you're living in. You cannot not be influenced by your culture. Now there's another concept that relates to culture, and that is maintaining the status quo. Status quo is a Latin phrase which means the current or existing state of affairs. In simple terms, what's normal. But there are times when what is normal can be restrictive, even detrimental to your personal growth and development. And we've seen it through history, where the way things are prevented you getting a job, or relating well with your neighbours, or even going to school. Well, this is why it's useful to explore the impact of culture on your life. Because if you can become more aware of the cultural norms that you've learned just without question, you can start to challenge and change the norms that are causing you to feel restricted. You might even be able to challenge the status quo, how things are around here, and look at any aspects of your culture that are restricting you in your home, in your school, in your community, in your society. See? So the first step is really to look at your personal history, and this is what we're going to look at in the next topic. I'll see you then.